UK services, Lavarzi and who1.co.uk present the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast.
Hello and welcome to the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast, episode 556, and I'm Adam, and can I have your autograph? And here's Ben Shoveler.
I can't remember what my Skype login is.
Robert Haynes.
Well, I haven't slept, have I?
Probably not, no. Mary Lang.
I bet you excrete some sort of gas that makes people love you.
I do indeed. Kirby Bartlett Sloan.
Yappy, the robot dog. Not as much fun as I remember.
And
was that
what
what
the hell is going on in the background there?
No. Are you decorated? I don't like it.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right, yes.
But Master, that reminds me. I need to apologize for something I said.
For
12
for
years
dumping
ago.
Debbie off the call?
It's a bit late.
I need to
Better late than never, Kirby. I've been waiting for this.
something 12 years ago. We did reference that line. Oh, you've decorated. I don't like it. And I said it was first said in the 5 Doctors. That is incorrect. It was the 3 Doctors.
It was the 3 Doctors, and it's taken you 12 years, Kirby.
And
12 years I've been waiting for this. And thank you. All right, that my work here is done. I can now leave a happy man. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
yeah,
And I was insistent that it was the 5 Doctors.
I know
That's why
you were. I
apologized.
remember arguing with you for possibly years. That's why I've held this animosity
No,
for
actually,
such
you
a long
agreed with me.
time.
You agreed with me that it was from the 5 Doctors.
I disagree.
Is this a 5-minute argument or the full set?
This is the absolute. Well, it depends what you pay for, actually.
And Debbie Melrose. Oh, she's not here, is she?
No, that was a
Why?
pointless introduction.
Why couldn't you get her on?
I don't
Because
know,
of
I couldn't
you, Kirby.
Trouble is, every time I...
Because she remembered that 13 years ago you said that it was from the 5 Doctors.
12 years
but
ago.
she... Oh, now you're just being... Just get on with the darn podcast.
I don't know how
Pearson.
to add her. I've lost the plot with horrible Skype. I think they ought to be very ashamed of
Well,
themselves.
does she know that that we're waiting on her? Or?
Is she able to... She joined the call, didn't she? Tell her to join the call. Yeah. Somebody, I've got stuff to do. I'm trying to do podcasting here. Somebody tell her very kindly to join the call if she can. And then I'll do another introduction.
Call.
she has already tried.
I don't know if she heard, but
Tell her to sort a computer out. Did you tell her to sort a computer out?
Sort your
To
computer
get a new
out, Dad.
computer.
Oh, what? She didn't use a computer?
No.
She didn't?
She was told to get a new computer.
Oh, you told her that, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. So on the
Don't know
live...
that she could hear us.
Thank
though.
you, Robert, yes. On the live feed, I do apologise to everybody who's suffered the live feed up to this point. All, how many minutes? 25 minutes of us trying to get Skype sorted out.
You don't know what you're doing. You don't.
Lillian Robbins says, I'm back. It's trouble. Well, it's last year you said that, Lillian. And Terry Mall says, hi, Lillian. Great to see you back. Hang on, did she have a live feed going and I missed it? What? Oh, and then she says, what's the delay? Oh, for God's sake. Would you like me to go over that bit again, Lillian? What the delay was? Terry Miles says, I think it's a finger trouble. I was just talking about my fat fingers because, you know, that, if you've noticed, if anybody's got fat fingers, they try operating a mobile phone, smartphone
I
display.
use a stylus.
Do you? Yeah. Well, doesn't it get scratched and you can't play any more records? Hang on, where's my...
Not...
No, I wouldn't use that. And I don't
If anyone laughed at that, they should be ashamed.
Well, I think Robert did.
Well, Robert.
Terry Miles says, shh. Lillian Robin did a laughy smiley face. And then, fascinating podcast. Look, Lillian, sarcasm is supposed to be the lowest form of wit, right? Used in its correct form, it is the highest form of wit. Sadly, that wasn't it. And then, best podcast ever. Lillian. And then Mary says, Adam hit the join call button. I did. And then Alan T. Butcher says, Cyber technology is defeating you. Resistance is useless. And then that says 2 new comments. Ooh, this is interesting. Oh, it still goes on. This is more better than the show
Adam,
itself.
have you ever been called Resistance before?
And, Lillian Robin, this is the best podcast ever with an H in it. By the way, Lillian, if Kirby sees you spelling the word ever with an H on the end of it, you're going to find yourself getting told something.
That's fine.
It's fine, is it?
For now.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh,
Ben
God,
Shoveler,
don't-
we're actually doing a pre-podcast, recording it too. So you're recording it twice. That's very clever. And
I
Alan
can
T.
send it
Butcher.
over to you, and you can put it on at the
Can
beginning
I?
of the podcast. And that way, everyone can hear what we were discussing.
Lillian Robin, get on with it. Alan T. I was getting on with it. Right, that's it. Where's my punishment device? Aha. Right then, Lillian. This has never been seen before on the podcast. This is my punishment device. Just
God.
beware. Alan T. Butcher, the start of the show is so late, even I had to put my feedback in already. Oh, well, I suppose it did have its benefits. Ian Kirk, new listeners should be told, this is the kind of chaos we had in the old days with Alicia, when Alicia was on the show. That was before Skype was invented. Lillian Robin, what's bloody hilarious? It's only hilarious when it's meant to be. Brandon Moore, hurry up, chaps, it's nearly closing time. Very good, Brandon. That is definitely worth a ding. Trouble is, my bell's buried under a load of battery. Hang on. Oh, there we go. So there we go. We've caught up with that side of things, and hopefully it'll mean we can actually get through closing time quickly. And then,
Yeah, sure.
and then Lillian decides to get kinky and goes, ooh, punishment. I presume that's how she was supposed to say. I can only
But
guess.
the problem is, Adam, because it's over text, you don't know that's how it was. It might have been.
Hang on, let's see what the emoji she's put with it. Hang on. The emoji is a winky smiley face.
Sorry, you broke up there. A what smiley face?
Right, only closing time with James Blimmin Corden. Is that what they call it now? Is when something James Corden is on it? Is it something with James Corden? Isn't it? I think that's what the new rules. So closing time with James Corden begins with a panning shot up for a Cardiff street and a shot of the fake.
Doesn't that sound like a...
Master, have you ever been in this particular department store in Cardiff? The House of Fraser?
No, that's a woman's shop, Kirby. I don't go in women's shop.
it's actually a department store.
It's a department store. It's got everything.
It may well have, but I hadn't been in there. I was only interested in going in HMV and Virgin when I was in skiving in Southampton in Cardiff. So that's the only places I really used to go. I never used to go in places like that. And places like Top Rank and stuff to watch XTC.
Sorry, you broke up again, mate. You said top what?
Anyway,
It's a real department store.
Yeah. Rose is packing up for the end of the day and just gathering everybody's lottery tickets. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I do apologise. Oh, yeah, and all the lights go off and someone's going to go downstairs and see some Auton. Sorry, no, that's not an episode. Meanwhile, Craig's being left at home with Andy Nunney's baby. This is getting a bit
We
confusing.
don't know that yet. We're not introduced to Stormageddon until...
I'm just telling you what's happening to make
far.
this a bit quicker. So Craig is...
What?
Craig, that's... quicker, yes. So Craig is being left by his only appearing in this episode twice wife with Andy Nunney's baby, which is probably why that it takes a bit of time for him to bond with it, to be fair, because I thought if Andy and Dawn were there, that the bonding process probably would have been a bit quicker. And what they're doing with Andy Nunney's baby in this episode is always also worth questioning.
Andy's
However.
feedback is going to be interesting, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That'll make a change.
I mean, coming from you, Adam.
How dare you!
Filling glass houses, mate. People in glass houses.
Anyway, so Craig is finding it difficult coping with the baby, and the doorbell goes, and it's the doctor saying, that he's redecorated and that he doesn't like it, and I've got an itchy arm. Oh, he didn't say that. I just do actually have an itchy arm. So he says
I
it's.
don't remember him saying that.
He says it's a social. Well, what we forgot to mention, because Kirby's not paying attention, is that there's lots of flickering lights that have been happening up to this
Why
point.
would I say that?
That's because of the thing upstairs. Oh, Spoiler.
Yeah,
Anyway.
the time machine upstairs.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're in a different house.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
Robert. I forgot what I was going to. Oh yeah, I did think that when the doctor came in the house and started running up the staircase, and the staircase was covered in items, which reminded me when Alicia used to live here, and she had this thing called the stairdrobe, which is where she used to keep her clothing. Funny enough, she's got a three-story house where she lives now with her husband, and the stairdrobe is not. It's still there. Maybe it's a family tradition. I don't know, but something that we don't have in our house. But maybe wherever Alicia goes, there's a stairdrobe. Meanwhile, there's lots of flashy lights, and one of the last remaining shop assistant, and it's not Rose, starts poking around, and a Cyberman with a cracked eye is in a room where you change your clothes and stuff, changing room. So the doctor's sort of come to say hello and goodbye to Craig, but obviously there's things going on and he can't tear himself away. Craig can't cope with the baby. Maybe because it's Andy and Unnies, he needs to give the baby back. So there you go. Right, so
I think it's funny that he keeps saying, I can do it, and yet everybody, the mother, the wife, everybody's, doing everything to make sure you can do it.
I actually thought the casting of the baby was quite good because it didn't look unlike James Corden.
But, Master, the interesting thing is that they use 7 different babies.
I thought you were going to say that.
And 2 fake babies. If you
Yeah,
watch
but
the
the close-up baby did look like...
Well, that's quite funny, because when he do his Tonight with James Corden show, they use 7 different James Cordens.
Very good. Anyway, so God, what happens next? There's lots of standing around and sort of... There's quite a... I mean, even Mary
He's
would agree.
He's had some pretty good interviews lately with the people from Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Mm. Oh, that's a good film, that. I like that.
Yes, it is.
I haven't seen that yet.
What's it on about? James Corden.
People standing around doing nothing.
Oh, you made me forget what I was going to blooming say now. No, yeah. So Mary would agree that there's a reasonable standard of comedy in this episode, and that I will say before I get to the end of it and forget what I was going to say, that I really do enjoy the little light-hearted sort of comedic moments and lines in this story. The Doctor does try to... I know you don't have to interject there, Mary. I just know you're going to agree with me. So, and because I'm so sure you're going to agree with me, you're going to get one of these.
You know me so.
Anyway, the Doctor nearly leaves in the TARDIS, but the next time Craig sees him is inside the department store with some charming little kiddywinks demonstrating a little helicopter flying around. She seems to have a great deal of fun with. Because he's got a job. He's even got a name tag.
Name tag.
The Doctor. Which is quite handy, just to remind him of what his name was. Which obviously reminds me of work. When people come up to you, do you work here? No, I'm just a great fan. I.e. wearing the uniform. Anyway, sorry, what did you say, Kirby?
I said that was possibly one of my quotes, except I like the K9 quote.
Yeah, but he didn't actually say K9, he just said robot dog.
Yes. Well, it was implied.
It was, yes. But not too bad.
That scene is going on my screen right now.
Is it now? Camera angles are great in this episode as well. There's a little flash of the Colchester Evening News. Didn't know Colchester was in Wales, but never mind. Britain's Got Torment. Police to investigate allegations that a local teenager poisoned fellow Britain's Got Talent contestant.
What?
Never mind.
The headline.
It's the headline in the paper.
Okay.
So, there's a lift in this department store which is out of order, but the Doctor uses this thing called a sonic screwdriver. Did anybody notice the sonic screwdriver that can, in this episode only, shoot little laser bolts?
It's a weapon, yes.
Yeah, I didn't like that. That's one thing I did not.
You know, I don't know if Mary agrees with me, but I didn't really like that. Did you agree with me on that one, Mary?
No, I didn't like that.
Oh, you didn't? So you do agree with me?
Because the sonic screwdriver works by sonic.
I suppose you can create a sonic bolt.
Lightning bolts.
But you agree with me, though, that was a bit annoying.
The third Doctor used it as a weapon in the Sea Devils.
But he was igniting marsh gases.
Yeah, he was using the sound. He wasn't firing laser, but because of the the type of episode this is, it's fine. I don't care.
It's fine.
It's
yeah.
a science fiction fantasy TV show, is it not?
Is it? Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're in the lift, and
Still,
they get teleported to some cyber ship. I think, no, it wasn't actually. I thought it was a cyber ship, but in fact it was downstairs.
Sorry, mate, you broke up there. Can you repeat that?
It is a cyber ship, but it's downstairs, not in orbit.
yeah.
That's what I just said. Sorry, Ben, what did you say?
I missed. You broke up again. Then what did you say?
I can't remember. Nothing interesting. There's another funny
It was a cyber something or other.
cyber cyber basement. It was.
Oh right. So sorry. Got you. Sorry. My bad.
Oh. Right. Anyway, so during this scene where they're in the cyber basement, that's the Doctor and Craig. There's a cracking scene where they get a bit sort of almost like they're getting a little bit intimate with each other, which is really very good. And James Corden's facial expressions during that scene are absolutely hilarious. And then they
Matt Smith though does it very well. They trying to avoid it, but you're trying it.
Yes.
Yeah, they're both very good friends, and so
that's when I've lost a load of stuff. But that's when the Doctor uses his sonic screwdriver to emit a green sort of smoky beam at the Cyberman. Anyway, so back they go.
He did to the cyber mat too.
Oh, I'd forgotten about the cyber mats, and I remember this. Obviously, they only appeared in this episode, to a certain extent. And there was a toy you could buy, because this is still at the time when Doctor Who was creating the program, was creating lots of sort of merchandise. And the Cybermat was one of the. I bet that's really rare. The Cybermat.
Did you get one?
No, I bloody didn't. I didn't get one of those little fat creatures either. That was available.
The adipose.
Yeah, they're still available somewhere.
I've got lots of those.
I don't really care. Anyway,
They keep coming out at night though.
What come out at night? Adipose.
The adipose. I wake up every morning. There's a new one there. I'm losing loads of weight, by the way. I told you.
Are you using one of those strange TikTok hula hoop devices like Deb's got?
No, it's a tablet you take once a day.
Oh, is it? And then and the fat literally walks away.
It literally walks away. Yeah.
Anyway, back to Doctor Who.
And Linda Barron shows up.
If you let me get to... I wanted to say, right, well, I'd line myself up beautifully to segue into the Linda Barron bit, so hang on. Got a special sound for you, Kirby. Right.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
May I have another?
Deb was watching this bit with me when Linda Barron came out, and she said, "Oh, is that woman from the little one with the little
Open
car?"
all hours.
What?
Open all hours.
No, the car. Come outside.
What, the album by the Arctic Monkeys?
No, does it come outside? It's a children's programme on CBBC, which obviously when we had children, very young children, we used to have to sit through lots of CBBS and
You
CBBC.
enjoyed that.
No, I did not.
Really? Because every other adult does.
No, I didn't. The trouble is, I've already spent my time watching children's programmes. When I was a teenager and there weren't anything else left on TV, I was stuck watching when I was skiving off school, things like Play School, 10 years after I should have stopped watching it and stuff.
Yeah, I was the same. I have to.
At least.
We only had one channel, though.
Yeah, but at least Floella Benjamin was on it, and she was always very entertaining. Oh, of course, Johnny Ball, another entertaining actor. And, that other lady that got killed.
I think the other thing is that with Johnny Ball is proof that the apple does fall from the tree.
Yeah, well, I know you were trying to say that, and it didn't quite come out correctly, but everybody knows what you're saying. Yes, Ben.
I think it did come out very correctly. The phrase "the apple falls always falls close to the tree" means that there's not a lot of difference between things. So if the apple doesn't,
so you're talking about he's quite similar to his daughter. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm saying that he's very good and his daughter isn't.
Oh right, okay. And of course the other one that was in Play School that's connected to Doctor Who, apart from Derek Griffiths, no, he was in Coronation Street, wasn't he? Was the one who got
Humpty Dumpty.
No, the one who very good. The one who had the over elaborate death in
Big Ted.
In
Little Ted.
What's the one with the Dalek one with Peter Davis in it?
Rod, Jane and
Resurrection. Was it Resurrection of the Daleks? The Peter Davison one?
Yes, Resurrection.
Yeah, that's the
Right.
one that the other one from Play School was in and had a really sort of over elaborate death, shall we say? And that death actually forced Tegan to leave the show. But yes, Linda
Brian
Barron.
I only
You've
know
got to say that
Linda
very,
Barron
very-
from three things:
Here we go.
Last Chance Saloon,
Yeah.
being a pirate, and
Yeah.
this.
I know her mainly from that and Open All Hours. She was a national icon. Good old Linda Barron.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a scene in which
Heard of-
Craig looks like he's flirting with the young lady with the sort of big earrings.
You what?
Yeah, and then the security guard turns up. I forget his name. What's the name of the blooming security guard?
George.
George, that's it. And then
Master.
no,
And
it
he said,
wasn't
"While
the
we're on
master. He's not in this episode.
While we're
Christ.
talking about this scene, apparently this guy is the creepy shopper in the background is
Oh, yeah,
still
the Radio
on
1.
BBC Radio 1. Greg James.
Is that who George was?
No.
Oh.
No, that was the guy in the back who
Oh,
was
okay.
looking through bras.
Oh, okay. Well, Greg James is still on the radio, by the way, Kirby. I don't know
Yes.
if you're aware of that.
12 years.
Anyway, yeah, so Craig is just about to be removed for a perversion, but the doctor comes up and sort of rescues him.
Poor guy.
Because everybody knows and trusts the doctor. And then they go on another little scout around, and in one of the dressing rooms, eventually, after having lots of... after then bumping into Rory and Amy via a big poster.
And Petrichor, yes.
And what?
The poster for Petrichor.
What's the
Isn't that the
significance
smell
of
of
that?
rain after
Oh, you mean the
something?
perfume? Okay.
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
Master.
Jeez.
It was funny. 12 years ago, you started out talking with Alicia almost immediately after you both saw this, and you couldn't remember what that poster was, what the significance was, what Petrichor was. It took,
Go on then, just get on with it and see we can
it took the rest of us on the podcast later when we recorded on Monday morning to inform you.
Right, could you inform me again, please? Quickly.
Petrichor.
Yeah, please, quickly.
It's the smell of rain on Earth. It was one of the passwords in The Doctor's Wife.
Specifically dust.
Okay.
Dust.
Probably reason I can see why I've forgotten it again. Right then, where do we get up to? Let's do some stuff coming through on the live feed. We've got
Kirby.
Lillian Robbins saying "Ooh, punishment." I've done that one. Oh, and then Debbie Melrose saying "Ah, technology." Is that her being a pirate?
Arr, technology, awar.
Arr. A pirate. Arr.
So they're poking around the store, and us as a Doctor and Craig, and they
Why
go
doesn't
back.
she use like her phone to Skype?
She could do, but it'd be better than nothing, wouldn't it? Mind she might not
Well,
have
she's
enough
watching the
data
live
on it.
feed. Maybe she's heard me say that.
You never know. She could join the call, couldn't she?
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah,
the Doctor
that's what
catches a
you're
Cybermat in a net, while George gets caught by the Cybermen in a sort of warehouse. Anyway,
Sort
so
of warehouse. No, he goes.
It's their
God.
ship. It's their crashed ship.
Yeah, it's the crashed ship.
just
which, by
making
the
sure
way,
you're paying attention, Mary.
12 years ago, there was a lot of joking around that this crashed ship happened to be the same one that Adric was on.
I'm going to give Mary a ding for paying attention. Well done.
Oh, don't I get a ding for the Adric
Sure.
joke?
No.
No.
Oh, Kirby.
I know. No one likes me.
Priority jingles.
Well, you finally figured that out.
Mary, you're on form. I see you've had a couple of weeks off to sort of to gain your cutting sense of humour. Right then. Right, I've got a
Nicely
thing.
finished sentence there, by the way, Adam.
What, cutting sense of humour?
No,
You being cheeky?
it's the way you tailed off.
No, I didn't know. It's probably your blooming Skype sort of not, because you just missed some of the other stuff that was said earlier on, didn't you?
For comedic effect, Adam.
It was for comedic effects. Ah. Right then, while I'm trying to
Listen
drag that-
back to it and you'll see if you can understand
Do
what
I have
I was
to?
saying.
Oh, Jesus. Tim Jury says, hello, I'm the doctor. Here's to help. Oh, no, sorry. Here to help. I might have messed that up. Thanks, Tim. Right, where do we get up to? Oh, yeah, we're watching Closing Time, weren't we? The baby. Yeah, so the doctor...
I'm not watching it. I've watched it.
Seems to completely understand baby, gives baby cuddle.
Master. Did anyone else think that the reference to, as the doctor's explaining what the Cybermen are doing, he mentions spare parts, and I always think that that's a direct reference to...
Finish. That's
The
what I
big
thought.
Finish story, Spare Parts,
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a great story.
Oh, go on then, Kirby.
It's one of the few big finishes I've actually listened to.
Yeah, I've heard that one. It's very good. But I'm listening to audiobooks at the moment, so I'm looking forward to introducing some big finishes when I get really bored.
I've started
The
watching
Doctor-
audiobooks this week.
Pardon?
I've started watching audiobooks.
Have you?
I knew that it would step in
like
there.
reading audiobooks. Huh?
No, I watch them. I don't do a lot, you know.
The doctor gets very friendly with a baby and makes a little starry sky. Craig comes home.
Starry, starry night.
But the doctor decided to go out with the baby while Craig has gone indoors and has a fight with a... Yeah, nothing I didn't really like. I liked mostly this episode. One thing I didn't like, and I know it's for comedy effect, but the stupid teeth on the Cyberman.
Yeah,
I
come
know.
on,
I
no.
hate
They are silly, but that's okay.
It's okay because they've already done
It's a
silly
science
things.
fiction fantasy TV show.
Yeah, it is. But it was a bit silly. But I suppose it had to be because it was a silly episode, so that's fine. But yeah, so it was quite another good scene between Craig and Matt in regards to the fighting off of the Cybermat I forgot, just as you don't, because you probably didn't pay much attention while watching this, Kirby, but the Cybermats were there to drain energy from Earth to give to the Cybermen so they could do what they needed to do, etc.
Yes, I know.
draining
And there's
You
a
knew?
there's a great scene in the Confidential how they filmed his jumping through the window, the door, the glass.
Oh yes. Okay.
I watched the cut down version.
So anyway, they find
I watched the full version, which
I knew
someone
you did.
somehow gave me a way of doing.
I wonder who that was.
Anyway, the Doctor and Craig find the actual route down to the cyber cellar or basement through one of the. There's a hole in one of the, behind the mirror in one of the changing rooms.
That department store must be awfully close to Craig's house.
Yes. Anyway, and Craig
True.
comes to the Doctor's rescue but gets caught.
How does he know to go in the changing room?
I don't know.
He was using the sonic, I believe.
Yeah, he was looking for the electrical transmissions.
Mary
Yeah.
and Kirby paying attention. Anyway, so they both get grabbed by the Cybermen,
Ding.
but apparently the Doctor's
Ding.
not compatible. But Craig is compatible, and he starts getting
Now,
changed
okay,
into.
this is the one thing that bothers me. Craig
Oh, here
should
we
be
go.
compatible because I'm sorry, he's a little bit overweight.
That is
Yeah.
very. What's the ist for being against people who are fat? I mean, who are slightly obese, Ben. It's something
Obesist?
ist, isn't it? Is it fattest? I
Well,
can't-
No, I'm fattest. Don't be like that. I'm definitely fattest.
No, I am.
No, actually, I've just seen you. You are, yeah.
Yes, thank you. I am wearing an Oodies. Are they called Oodies? Or these things that us Brits wear because we're being overcharged for energy, so we can't have any heating on. So we wear stuff. Thanks to apparently the Ukraine.
It's not down to
Putin.
the Ukraine. It's down to the fact that the oil companies have seen a massive chance to stitch us all up massively. Because isn't it
Yeah, but
incredible?
petrol's cheaper.
That BP and Shell's profits both went
I
up
know.
by
Yes.
100%, which is interesting because our fuel costs have gone up by 100% as well, and no one seems to have made the connection.
Well, I've noticed that petrol's
There's
come
the
down. Well,
shutting down of energy. It's not Ukraine. It's just all the leaders are shutting
they're
down.
using it as an excuse, Mary,
Of course they
and
are.
also.
They have to double their
It's the
profit.
same thing that they did during the COVID thing, created non-existent variants to make people conform to
Exactly,
certain rules.
exactly.
I don't think there's any proof of that, Adam.
Well,
Where's
that's
my tin hat?
well, they may
Oh,
not be
hat.
proof,
Where is it?
but it was hinted at through some conversations that
South
have been
Park?
leaked. South Park.
No, I think what you've done there, Adam, is just speak a load of.
No, I'm not. I'm only
Yes, you
saying
are.
what was in the
That's
newspapers
no
this
proof at
morning.
all.
I'm saying it
There's
has
no
been
proof.
alleged. It has been alleged that certain things have been leaked through what they call that app that's WhatsApp that's supposed to be untraceable. Apparently, but apparently it is traceable. Back to Doctor Who. So Craig gets turned into a cyber person, but he hears a baby going wah, and it turns him back into a Craig.
And that's almost like that stupid Cyberman thing where, the love of everybody, the love of the Brigadier wins through and all this rubbish.
You don't like that sort of stuff, do you, Robert?
No.
I don't care. It's quite nice in this episode because it's the format
Gareth
of.
Roberts says, "Yeah, I did it. So what?"
It's just the format of this episode. Like, it's acceptable. In other episodes, I agree again, but it's quite consistent with the Lodger, isn't it? Because that's what happened at the end of the Lodger. Craig's love for Sophie,
And it's consistent with Moffat's stories. He does that.
Well, this is a Gareth Roberts story.
Everybody lives, Mary. Everybody lives.
But Moffat is the showrunner, so
Yes,
So
but
he
can
would
I
have
say,
okayed it.
Mary?
In the Confidential, Gareth Roberts takes full credit for doing that.
He did
Don't
write
you
the
reckon
story.
Gareth Roberts looks like
Okay.
a Sontaran?
I don't know,
with
but
beard?
Yes,
hang
he
on.
does.
I just wanted to just remind Mary of something.
No one told me
Excuse,
that we
right.
did that.
I just wanted to remind everybody, or Mary
Yes,
specifically, careful when you're dissing Stephen Moffat because you will upset Ben because he absolutely adores him. So do be careful.
I love
what
him
you were
in
saying.
every episode he ever
So-
had any
Like-
involvement.
You could
every
provoke.
sentence, he just pours praise on Moffat. So
Yeah.
I should have.
Just
Yeah,
careful
just-
what you're saying.
Should know better.
Yeah, don't poke the bear.
Anyway, so by the way, Stormageddon's real name is Alfie.
You know.
Once.
I love the way
There
Kirby
was a
drops in
time.
with "I know," as if I didn't know that you knew. God's sake,
Alfie.
I
cannot
was wondering
resist
why
it.
that
Can I?
came up then, because it was established back with the Stormageddon thing.
I don't give a tinker's cuss. Right then. So anyway, everything's saved by Craig realising he's got the capabilities of being a dad, and the Doctor, as a gift, is given a Stetson and nicks some dark blue envelopes on his way out.
And that's the one that
Sophie
gets
comes
shot
home.
at the beginning, isn't it?
Yes, and he sort of says, "I'm off to my death," and he meets some children who look a bit creepy, actually. To be fair,
Yes, they do.
they look like they're about to kill him, but all they do, they're remembering having met the Doctor later in life. They're little sort of. But one of the blonde girl looks like I think I've seen her since then as a more grown-up person performing in other productions, but I can't think who she may or may not have been. But yeah, and then we see. Actually, I do like the kids
Well,
in that
she
scene.
still is.
I think they're very good. They do. Didn't have to say anything, but that because they didn't say anything, they did act the scene very well. Then
What, the
River
kids
Song
say-
has
the
been
kids
given.
don't say anything,
Oh,
but their adult
Jesus.
versions do.
All right. River Song has been given a doctorate and a nice spacesuit by the eye patch lady. Nice spacesuit with which to kill the Doctor with, and given to the clients, of course, which are the silence. The trouble is, has she got a special filter that she doesn't forget the silence? Because I do love the fact
Yes,
that
that's what the eye patch is.
Oh, is it? Ah, that's clever, because we see River wearing that at some point, don't we, in the later on?
Yeah, that's all explained in the next
All
episode.
right.
Hey.
We haven't got to the next episode
Don't
yet.
forget.
Like it.
Oh, God's sake, it's just...
I haven't seen that episode in 12
Oh,
years.
here we
So
go.
have I.
Backtracking. Anyway, so and we have a very sort of spooky scene of River in a spacesuit in a swimming pool. I mean,
Yeah, it's very badly
lake.
composited, actually.
So that's basically closing time, which it's quite good, but it is basically a sort of calm before the storm episode, because this is the sort of just episode they're bunging because they've had a scary episode with the hotel one story, whatever that one's
That
called.
wasn't scary.
It was supposed to be
It
scary.
wasn't.
It's creepy. It was very creepy.
Creepy, that's the word I was looking for.
really.
I had to watch it from
and of
behind the
course,
sofa.
the season finale, as we're just about to have, of this particular series. So it was okay. I quite enjoyed it. I do hoped that, or did hope, sorry, that they would bring James Corden back to do the occasional, scenes or episodes with the Doctor because they work so well
busy,
together.
But maybe now he's quitting the Late Show. Maybe he can.
Yeah, but
Disney Plus can bring him back in.
Kirby, I've got a funny feeling that Disney Plus will not like the idea of calling the show Doctor Who with James Corden, because as I said earlier on, everything with James Corden in, like when Bruce Forsyth was around, everything had to have Bruce Forsyth. It's the same with James. It's something with James Corden. It's a similar thing with Alan Titchmarsh as well, actually. Most programmes with Alan Titchmarsh have it with Alan Titchmarsh. MBE.
Did you watch that, what's the name?
That what's her name? Probably. I've watched a few what's her names.
That was great.
That documentary about
the Isle of Wight.
Yeah, on Channel 5.
Well, I've only seen one episode because they've only actually put out one episode.
Yes, there's only one episode out. But...
Yeah. Can I say a few things about that before we move on to other people's thoughts on this story? Right. Yes, what they shows the Isle of Wight on sunny days being very nice. It also doesn't show a lot of actual islanders, only people that come over here to get second homes and what we call overners. So it's not a true image of the Isle of Wight. It's showing you what parts of the Isle of Wight can be like, and it's showing some nice people who have moved to the island. There's a couple of people actually live here, were born here, but mainly it's people who have moved here, which is not. Balance it out. Let's have some people who've been here for years. One lady.
She came back after leaving.
Investing with LoanPad doesn't take much effort.
What on earth?
Invest in a LoanPad innovative finance ISA.
What was that all about?
What the hell?
It's like somebody tuned into our podcast. But anyway, yeah, it's okay. It's nice to watch. We like watching it only because we want to see if we can recognise anybody who's in it. But it is not a true representation of the Isle of Wight. And I know why you mentioned it, because I said about Alan Titchmarsh, MBE, or as I call him when I see him face to face, Sir Alan Titchmarsh, because I know he's trying for it, and it will happen at some point, because he's very good friends with the King, or he was very good friends with Prince Philip. And anyway, Kirby, what do you think of this episode?
I love this one. It's fun. I don't care about the plot holes.
The potholes?
Although
those down our road.
I will point out one that.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
The doctor keeps going, I die tomorrow, and he just saw that very same day Amy and Rory, but they're supposed to be in America. So how did
Yeah, but
he invites them to America, Kirby, with the blue envelopes, you silly man.
Maybe they're at the store picking up some last minute things before they fly over to America.
Yeah, but
exactly. but that's just a plot hole. It doesn't bother me like.
It's not a plot hole, Kirby. Kirby, it's not a plot hole. He got the blue envelopes to give these people invitations to meet him at Lake Silencia. So they weren't not in America yet because they haven't been invited. You silly man.
And as far as shooting, using the Cynic as a weapon, it was established by the third Doctor, so that's fine by me. Other than that, this is just a fun little romp.
Yes, I agree. What did you think of it, Ben?
Well, yeah, I mean, from what I remember, it was definitely an episode that was on. I did see it at the time, and I remember watching it using my eyes. I listened to what was going on with the invention that they called ears, and I seem to remember at some point a sense of, this is all right, coming over my body.
Yes, 12 years ago you liked it. 12
years ago is a very long time. I can barely remember what we were talking about 12 minutes ago. Having not rewatched the episode and just listening to your little run through there, I seem to remember those feelings. They seem to come back, and I seem to smile to myself as I remember James Corden and his big wobbly belly. So I shall give this episode a very reminiscent sum out of nothing.
Yeah. Well, nothing out of nothing, you mean?
No, some.
Mary, you do have a very loud notification. Okay, right, Robert, what did you think?
Yeah, it's okay.
Right, thank you.
Now that's a Ben line.
It's definitely a filler kind of episode.
Sorry, the dog's having a seizure, so anybody that can hear that, I apologise.
And the humour was quite funny for a change. But yeah, I didn't like the teeth on the Cybermat, so I thought that was dumb. What else didn't I like?
Don't know.
Oh yeah, when the ship blows up.
Mm.
Okay, it's under the store, right?
It's what?
Surely it's underneath the store.
Underneath the arches. Oh, that's sorry. I thought different song.
So the store should have blown up too.
No, not that, but there should be some subsidence or
Some subsidence.
Subsidence.
You know why there isn't?
Why?
It's a science fiction fantasy
Yeah.
TV show.
Yes, Kirby.
Oh, you got a ting.
It was a very quiet one.
Thank you, sir.
I have some more.
Go on then.
Yes.
Are you going to say some more then?
Yeah, I was going to say, last week seemed to be a filler episode as well. Not talking about the podcast, but the...
No, the podcast is always a filler episode, Robert. Fills hours of my life that it needn't.
Aren't you leaving it in about 6 years' time
Yes.
still?
Well, no. It's in. I'm just counting through the doctors until I finally get a chance to actually get to the end of this journey, which is longer than bloody one of Francis Benali's blooming tarts that he used to do.
It's our farewell
Are
tour.
we going to be reviewing the new ones that start up this
Inevitably, because what on earth's that? Someone left the
What is
door
that?
open.
It's my fan.
Your fan, hey, Ben's fan. Is
Yeah, I'm your fan.
Do you
Farnborough
realise,
fan?
though, Adam, that if we missed out all the crap episodes, we could finish it next week?
Probably.
There. Yeah. There you are.
Sorry, Robert, you were saying something.
No, I was just going to say that last week's story felt like a filler episode as well to me. Just didn't seem like it just doesn't seem like a substantial episode. It's just like they're waiting to get to this end
I
episode.
liked last, but you heard it. You probably listened to us.
Praise him.
Okay,
Praise
praise
him,
you.
yes.
Rob,
Praise me.
What would you name as a substantial episode? What does that?
Earlier on in the
Pyramids
series.
of Mars.
Debbie sent me a picture.
People. No, Doctor's
Ooh.
Wife. That was okay.
Deb sent me a picture of her.
Curse of the Bad Plot.
Deb sent me a picture of her MacBook rebooting. It says about 9 minutes remaining, and that was
What?
Debbie Melrose. She's a co-presenter
And
on the show.
If she's listening, we should.
She can't
should
do. Her
try
computer's not on.
The test call.
She sent me that 8:30. Where are we now? No, 7:30. It's now 8:10. So it doesn't bode well, does it? Sorry, Robert. You carry on.
Oh, that's pretty much it.
Oh, is
But,
it? Okay.
Yeah, I look forward to next week's episode.
I don't. I remember not.
Shut up!
liking it.
Every time he says
You
this,
might change your mind.
it, but I thought of it.
Robert, is next week what you would call a substantial episode?
I can't remember it.
Exactly.
You said you were looking forward to it, so
I seem to remember
because I haven't seen it for
quite
ages.
liking it. I may be wrong. Anyway, we've got to the point of the show when we have to play this. Mary, what did you think of it?
Well, I kind of kept this in the back of my mind as one of my favorite episodes.
Hey!
Wow.
While watching it, I had forgotten most of it. I mean, it was almost like I was watching an episode that I'd never seen before.
Same here.
Yeah.
So and I found it very refreshing. I wish more Doctor Who was like this. That combination of funny and touching, and yet there's horror and creepiness. I mean, it just seems like everything is in this. It remains to be a favorite. Let me see, and the little reminders that there is an overall arc. I mean, the story doesn't have to be arc heavy, but I like that there were just little reminders, like at the end.
Mary, can I interject? Mary,
I wish stories were like that. I don't mind an overall arc to a series, but I hate the episodes, where they're really hammering them home to us.
Mary.
What?
Sorry, can I interject just briefly? Sorry, I know you're in mid-flow there. When you said about story arcs and stuff like that, I seem to remember a couple of Doctor Who stories that had the word arc in the title.
Arc in space.
Did they have story arcs? God, that's longest.
Oh, like you're talking like in the past, the classics?
Yeah, we had the Ark, didn't we? William Hartnell's story, and then the Ark in Space. And obviously we talk about story arcs. Isn't it ironic that those arc stories didn't have story arcs? Anyway, back
really
to Mary.
Stretching for that
Do you want me to read some definitions to you? So you know what an arc, a physical arc is, separate from...
No, I don't. That's the sort of thing Kirby would do.
You're really stretching that one. That one's just not going to float.
Right.
Sorry, Mary.
And this there's a lot of humor in this, which I appreciated. And a nice little note is that I read that the scene that takes place in the toy department with the doctor playing with those kids, that was all extemporaneous, that there was no script, that he was just doing and the kids were just reacting to what he was doing, which I think makes that even nicer.
Yeah.
It shows how, creative Matt Smith is. The knowledge that the doctor is going to die does give the story, like an undercurrent that makes the scenes with Craig and the baby and all that kind of bittersweet, which is nice. It gives a little weight to the story. It wasn't like all comedy or horror or whatever.
Can I say something though?
No.
Because I forgot about the doctor dying. I'm thinking, what's he talking about? He doesn't regenerate until another season.
Seriously?
So I'd actually forgotten that.
So what you're telling me, Robert, is you haven't been paying attention to the journey at all.
He's going to get shot at Lake Silencio.
I'd totally forgotten that.
They've been banging on about it all series.
So
that was a big deal.
And I enjoyed that aspect of it too, the timey-wiminess of it, that we're looking at the past, the future, all that, happening kind of at the same time, which is how time is anyway, And I really enjoyed the doctor trying to leave and not help Craig. Yeah. The scene outside, which I'm leaving, I'm going away, I'm not going to help. And I just found that to be, partly funny and partly sad because he's trying very hard, but he does end up hanging around, getting a job.
Can't resist
and all that. Yeah. So yeah, this still remains in my bubble of favorite stories.
Why, thank you, Mary, because that finally, after all this time, gives me the opportunity to play a piece of music that doesn't happen very often.
We did hear a bit of that earlier, though.
Oh, that was just the Hallelujah chorus, but that's the Mary really liked the story music. Right then, okay, we move on to the next segment of the show. Ben has been sifting through his archive of jingles, specially created by himself, for this moment. Oh.
Who is it? What's your one we're doing, Kirby?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How slick can you get?
Okay. 2, 3, 4. Kirby Bartlett Road. He's home alone.
You're supposed to be ready.
Gonna do some feed.
Back. Yes.
This fancy
Summing your
studio
stomach?
in a shed, and you're just not ready.
Stomach? What, you think I'm the Tin Man?
Yeah.
Flipping Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
So you might have to do an edit there. No, that was a can of zero sugar Coca-Cola.
Okay, may I read them, or are you going to bring up the actual...
No, sorry, here's the real one. Kirby Bartlett Road.
You can't find it.
I don't know exactly where it is. I'm not sure. Let me play off this computer. Let's give it a go. The problem is I had double glasses on, you see. And as I had double glasses on, I couldn't see what I was doing. So we need Kirby.
That makes sense. Nice.
See if this works. Can you hear that?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
There we go.
I didn't know it would work. That's quite good.
He asks you what you think, and it normally goes well. But as he's an American, he'd say,
Bagel
is what you think. In content it doesn't lack. It's Kirby Butt with Sloan and his pedantic feedback.
Sponsored by me.
It's going to take... That took longer to introduce me than the amount of feedback.
The amount of
Oh,
feedback.
well, if you want the other one, Kirby, then.
No.
Kirby. I've lost
Okay.
interest in that.
Andy said, "Oh yes, and so it begins,"
Yeah.
which makes me very intrigued about what his actual feedback is going to be.
Well, yeah.
Neil James, closing time. Every time I watch this, I just wish it was Craig that went away for the weekend and the doctor shared this adventure with Sophie instead.
Disagree.
Brilliant to see the return of Linda Barron from Enlightenment and the Gunfighters, kind of.
Yes.
Plus, I had a big crush on Holly Dempsey at the time, who plays shop worker Kelly. Shame neither really do much. Other than that, it's quite a fun run-around episode. Very light and fluffy. Fluffy! The Cybermen in Modern Who are rubbish. Creepy final scene. 3 stars out of 5. Mr. M. Oh, okay. There is more feedback.
Oh, the first line, he's talking about you, Kirby. That's a bit rude, isn't it?
Yes. Actually, that was one of my possible quotes. Mr. M says, "You look awful." Closing time by Gareth Roberts, or as he prefers to be called, Stormageddon, Dark Lord of All. This is an okay episode. It is not as good as Lodger, and I agree with Neil that Sophie would have...
What the hell was that?
That was someone sneezing.
Somebody forgetting there's a thing called a mute button. Right, I bloody know I've got COVID in my ear hole now.
Why would you catch
Are you
COVID
okay,
from-
Robert? Are you okay, Robert?
What was that? No, left.
What happened? Did you sneeze or drop something on your toe?
No, I just sneezed.
Oh.
Yeah, we know. This is an okay episode. It's not as good as The Lodger, and I agree with Neil that Sophie would have definitely added to the episode. It's fun to see the Doctor working in a shop. The Cybermen are so far in the background that they may as well not be there.
Yeah, that's
Indeed.
true, actually.
The Cybermats got more to do. Cybermat, single. And they look great, by the way. The cyber spaceship looks cool, but the plot is just resolved way too stupidly.
It's a cyber seller.
Although some might say, it's odd it's odd that the Cybermen seem to come in large or maybe even XL-sized cyber
Yeah,
to
really.
allow for Corden's comical conversion. Could it not be canonical callback to the rotund cyber controller from Attack of the Cybermen?
Yes.
Karen Gillan is hot.
Yes.
So it's a shame she only gets to put in a brief appearance in this one. Overall, I give it a 7 out of 10. Next time, and they were all wearing eye patches.
Which bring me to comment on, does anybody remember that Torchwood episode with the woman Cyberman who
Yes.
who they forgot to convert all
Yes.
her sexy bits
Yeah.
Yes.
for adult sci-fi effect. They did that with Star Wars, you know. They forgot to put some clothes on Princess Leia during
She had to wear Band-Aids over her
her
pointy bit.
bikini, shall we say.
What's wrong with the word nipples?
I didn't say that. I just anyway. Nothing wrong with the word nipples at all. I have never.
We've all got them, Adam. We've all
Yes,
got
I've
them.
got sore ones at the moment. I don't know why. Probably because I've been running around too much and they've been been chafing. Anyway, everybody, for the first time ever
Hold
in
on,
the
Adam.
20...
You just said
do
you've
not
been
interrupt.
running.
I'm doing a really big introduction. For the first time ever in the history of the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast, everybody's looking forward to Andy Nunny's feedback.
Well, good afternoon to everybody. Sandy Nunny here. It's Sunday afternoon. I've just finished the ironing. I've watched Closing Time. Also watched me watching Torchwood as well, with Summer's Tale there by hands. And of course, Closing Time, the story from where my son got his alter ego.
Yes.
Stormageddon. Yeah, he certainly is Dark Lord of all the time. So he's not here at the moment. He's actually been shot through the door. So more in Tom. Anyway, Closing Time. Yeah, you know, it's an enjoyable. It's a bit of fun. it's not that serious. I mean, you could say in theory it's a Sideman story. It doesn't really go that much into how the Sidemen got there. You know, were they left over from the invasion, perhaps? Although they are modern ones, so never explain how they got there, how long they've been there for. Just obviously a long time. That's all. There's only a few of them. They're going around kind of hard, a few people. They're coming in the lift, which is great. You know, anyone else think Grace Brothers? Well, I certainly did. But it's pretty inconsequential. You know, it's not one that's going to be thought of greatly in the canon of the Sideman. But still, it was really a mechanism just to get an alien there that people would recognise, and the fact that, you know, no one actually saw them. You saw the Sideman, they killed a few people, and that was it. So they really were inconsequential. I think this really was more about the Doctor and the way he plays with people, the way he uses people, the way he gets people to trust him. And it's also about Craig, you know, because again, you know, Craig came to the fore, you know, he stood up, you know, and as I think we're all parents here, we all know what it's like to be a parent, and there's times you just stand up. Very interesting, I've been watching Children of Torture, as I just said, because that's all about it as well. Just getting to the denouement of that. There are a few good moments where, yeah, I must admit, I must have got something in the eye. You know, I can remember when Zach saw it and was that small, and yeah, the look you get off him, I wonder what he actually thought of me. You know, did I get rated?
No.
Was I not Mom?
Yes.
We'll never know, will we? Some lovely one-liners, of course, the "you've decorated, I don't like it," and of course the totally superfluous entry of Amy and Rory. So it's when did that happen? When did she go and model? And the fact they were credited second. I wonder if they actually had some sort of in a contract they had to be second and third in the credits, because they came up very high, given the fact they were in for about 15 seconds, and that was it. The Doctor never actually related to
so they
them.
couldn't be bothered to redo the title
The Doctor
sequence.
himself, you know, he doesn't want to. He's going to walk away. He's going to walk away, and then he doesn't, and he gets involved. The Doctor, we knew he'd do that. Craig being the companion, and of course the lady on the counter taking the companion to be completely the wrong way. I wonder what she's going to say when she actually does meet.
Catching.
I can't think of her name. I can't think. It's not Sheila. I know it's not. I can't think of her name.
Sophie,
who's Craig's partner. Of course, they never married.
Sophie?
I wonder that was what he was going to ask at the end. It's always a very difficult moment when you come to do that, as I remember. By the washing machine in the kitchen, if I remember rightly. However, and there were some good fun characters. You know, the two girls, the lady and the girl in the shop, the security guard. You know, it's a pretty low cast one. The Sidemen just weren't menacing enough, I don't think so. But it all built up at the end, then suddenly you got River there, you got Eye Patch Lady, and she became the actual. It's just a way of just filling a bit of time before we got to the denouement of the Impossible Astronaut sequence, and we find out what it's really all about. So yeah, all in all, I did enjoy it. So there you go. Anyway, until next time, I'll be seeing you.
Oh, well, that's handy and only, everybody. I did think of something I was going to say, but it slipped out of my mind. You're talking about security guards, and it got me thinking about something else, and then I forgot. Oh well.
Anyway,
look,
if I'm gonna have to jump the queue if you want me to do this, because I've got to shoot off. So
we're doing things in reverse order this week, ladies and gentlemen, because Mr. Benjamin Shoveler is now going to dictate a certain piece of dialogue from a councillor in the south of England.
Are you being assimilated, or Mrs. Slocum's Cybermat just isn't as funny? Dear 20 megabyters, Closing Chime is of course a closely studied contemplation of the concept of familial love and its significance in the lives of ordinary people. Quite simply, we see a situation in which people have been picked off one by the Cybermen to serve their purposes in building their power. However, in attempting to do the same to Craig at a moment of his own acute wish to be everything he must be to his son, they make a mistake insomuch as his endogenous familiar affection for his son can be brought to bear in resisting their plans, and this is shown to be overwhelming to the Cybermen's exogenics attempt of domination. Where's the round of applause for that, for crying out loud?
Yeah,
Blimey!
You did well on that.
I know, thank you. It was pre-recorded.
Ding! Well done.
It should be noted that while some may say... Oh, well, I can do better than that. I just can't be bothered to reach the mouse in front of me. That the notion of that love will save the day, which is a Whitney Houston song, is a cliched or hackneyed notion, but Doctor Who is, after all, a
science fiction fantasy TV show.
And the Doctor does give a pseudo-scientific evolutionary genetics explanation for the events of the conclusion. But why don't you just welcome a bit of gold-plated romanticism and let there be love? We also learn that Eternal Captain Rack spent some time she had forever after all, worked for a while in a shop.
But has Captain Rack got a nice rack, Ben?
I'm not even going to lower myself to your disgusting...
That makes a change.
Yeah, sure.
Manure and open-mindedness, no harm at all. All in all, closing time is a much-needed brief pause for breath before the ensuing chaos of the finale episode. Well, is it finale or finale? Yeah. With all parts of the overall season narrative parked neatly, we are able to enjoy simple and straightforward Cyberman survival tale at the end of the Doctor's solo sojourn and 200-year tour prior to his much-anticipated, likely imminent death. It is touching and revealingly human that the Doctor had decided to revisit his old friend, Craig Owens, as he ends this period of his life. Once again, in a macrocosmic expression of the Doctor's universal influence, he touches a life profoundly in a way that he has done for so many people over the years. So it is a great setup for the way in which things will now unwind and be recoalesced for the end of this golden age of the season. This story is perhaps 24 minutes too short, as who would not want to see a little more plot developed around the circumstances of the cyber cell being formed and attempting to get together a force to be reckoned with. Next up, Doctor Who and the Doctor's second sort of wife, or everything's every Who all at once.
Nice.
Those are the thoughts of Councillor Alan T. Butcher Ricky.
Yeah. I remembered what I was going to say before you go, Ben, is that some of Andy Nunney's feedback, I remember back in the day, the Americans couldn't understand a word he was saying. But it reminded me of Jeremy Clarkson's security guard in Clarkson's Farm, where he doesn't, most of the time, doesn't sound anything that he says. And certain elements of Andy's feedback, I feel, may have fallen into that category. That's exactly what I'm trying to. You have to watch Clarkson's Farm
like
to understand what
Garrett.
we're talking about. Yeah, he does. He's got a mullet too. So you get a chance to watch Clarkson's Farm on Prime. That's what we're talking about.
Yes, right. Well, I'm afraid that I have to leave this shenanigan.
Oh dear.
Because I have to go.
No quiz?
Yes, there is a quiz. It's how quickly can I get off the podcast? Is it going to be in the next 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes? You may all answer now. Bye. No, that would have been funny if I'd have gone then.
Yes, it would have.
Yeah. So instead, I'll do it now. Bye. Not go yet. Can't go well. Great shield.
Bye, Ben. No, it was your tune.
Sausage. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. I shall see you all next week or the week after.
Hurrah! Yeah, I don't know if I can do it next week, but hurrah!
All right. Well, if I am, I'm not. If I'm not, I will.
Probably be the week after, but hurrah! I mean, goodbye.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye. And we have a little bit of feedback coming through. I can find the jingle. If I put it in alphabetical order, I should be able to do it. Here we go.
Hello, 20 Megabyte Podcast. This is Ian Kirk.
Hello, Ian.
Hello, Captain.
Closing Time by Gareth Roberts. The Doctor has been on his own for about 200 years, worrying about his coming death by astronaut at Lake Silencio. He visits Craig as part of a farewell tour, and can't help but investigate mysterious goings-on in the area. Two of the protagonists are transmatted out of a lift or elevator for the second time this year. Karen and Arthur are in the credits, although they are barely there. Daisy Haggard, who plays Craig's partner, was busy with another job, so is hardly in this. Flickering lights and battered Cybermen don't create much of an air of menace. We get to see where the Doctor got the blue envelopes and cowboy hat we have seen before.
Indeed.
The answer is love. Again.
Ah.
Bye for now.
I don't think he liked the sentiment of love. But we love you, Ian.
Master,
we do.
Master.
Oh, come on, I'm being all sentimental and you put it in. Right, that's definitely gonna warrant one of these. Oh, bugger. Carry on.
He also posted, I didn't know if he was going to reference it during his feedback or not, but he posted a little picture of Picard and Riker. Picard saying, in Europe we call it a lift, and Riker saying, well, in America we call it an elevator. And Picard says, I guess we were just raised differently.
Very good. I like that one, actually. That's a dad joke of the year. Wish I thought of that. Okay, scuffed. Oh, I'm going to say stuff coming through on the live feed. It's one comment. Lillian says, where's my pussy? Cybermat.
Oh my God.
Just as well Ben. It's just as well Ben has departed the podcast.
Yes.
Just before that was read out. Thank you, Lillian. I'm going to have go and have a lie down. While Mary dictates the last bit of feedback.
The feedback of Terry Miles. Okay, it says Craig is back and is a daddy now, and Sophie is his partner. She doesn't think he can handle the baby, Alfie, on his own. Oh, naughty Sophie. Of course he can. Knock, knock, who's there? Look out, Craig, it's the doctor. The doctor speaks baby, and here we have Andy's baby, Stormageddon. Well, it seems the doctor has been traveling on his own for 200 years. Maybe room for some missing adventures there. There's something wrong with Colchester's electricity. Don't get involved, Doctor. Little chance of that happening. The doctor got a job in Howell's department store in Cardiff. Sorry, the ancient Roman city of Colchester. There is a silver rat running around that must have escaped from the toy department. Oh, they don't have silver rats there. Time for a rat hunt. Go Cybermats, with real teeth now. About time they returned. Those cyber shades in the next doctor were silly, but Cybermats are much better. Hang on, how did a cyber ship get under a town that's been there for more than 2,000 years? Oh, got it. It followed Adric down to the surface. Hey. Love conquers all. A major explosion under a Colchester department store, and the building is still intact?
Yep, see?
I don't think so.
Yep.
I suppose the doctor couldn't have destroyed this one due to the fact he destroyed Rose's place of work. Is this why Corden went to America? This Tuesday, snow permitting, we will be going to see a talk by Ben Aronovich. Last time he came to talk, I got him to sign my original target book of Doctor Who, Remembrance of the Daleks. Next up, the wedding of River Song. Stay safe, everybody. Linda and Terry.
Cool. Thank you, Linda and Terry. Somebody's about to say something. I just heard it sort of nearly come through. Somebody saying something? No, I must. Again, I was thinking of something while that was coming through. And,
did it hurt?
Well, and then I forgot again. It's like that blooming that episode Silence in the Library, isn't it? And then he forgot. Okay, so I suppose if I ever remember that one, I'm sure it's something quite interesting, but I've forgotten. Other when you were talking about when Linda and Terry are talking about the 2,000 years, underneath the department store and whatnot.
It crashed there, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, we were talking about Cybermen and how poor the representation of Cybermen in this story was. I didn't really have a major problem with it. They were sort of a side character, really. The next time we see a Cyberman type character is indeed appalling. In Doctor Who, next time we see a cyber type character in Doctor Who is appalling. Does that make sense?
I can't remember.
Yeah, well, I don't remember. What is it? Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Appalling, or that the experience of seeing him.
Yeah, I'm just going to use the hint. Christmas special, and falling from a great height and not getting particularly hurt. And what else do we have in that? The Doctor, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or something like that.
I don't remember that there was a Cyberman in that, but I'm trying to forget that particular.
Wasn't it a wooden Cyberman? Or maybe I may have got my
Oh, yes, there is a wooden Cyberman in it.
Well, that's what I'm talking about then.
No, that's in...
yeah, that's in the next episode.
That's in one of the anniversary stories.
Yeah.
Like the death
That's in the regeneration episode.
Yeah.
No, maybe it was, yeah. But I seem to remember there being some wooden characters in the Doctor, the Witch and
Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe
thingy. Anyway, moving away from that, I got it wrong. That happens sometimes, very rarely, but you saw it here on the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast.
It's tree people. Yeah, it's a tree people.
That's it. Thank you, Mary, for correcting me.
I just sneezed twice again.
Cherish that moment. I got something wrong on this show. Doctor Who knew... What?
Well, we can't do the...
Well, don't bother then. I have the power over the variety jingles. No, you can't. And there's a good reason for it. And there it was illustrated. Doctor Who magazine, issue 588. We're nearly catching up, numbering wise, with Doctor Who magazine, as this is 556. It features, it takes us back to Bannerman Road and Sarah Jane Adventures. On the front cover is Elizabeth Sladen and David Tennant. When David Tennant was 10, and Elizabeth, what's her name again? Elizabeth Sladen, I said that a few seconds ago, was Sarah Jane Smith. And, of course, Russell T Davies was involved heavily in both of those productions. Bedford Who Charity Con 8 is being held this month and offering 10% off tickets for readers of Doctor Who news. The convention is being held this year on Saturday the 18th of March in the King's House, Bedford, about 50 miles north of London. All the profits from the day are going to be donated to two local charities, Bedford Food Bank, who provide emergency food for 2,000 people a month, and Faces, who work with local families who have particular needs. Last year's convention raised over £10,000 thanks to the generosity of Doctor Who fans. The guest list includes Fraser Hines and Wendy Padbury, joined by Neve McIntosh in a rare convention appearance. Sadie Miller and Christopher Naylor, the new Sarah and Harry for Big Finish, Jenny Linden, who lives on the Isle of Wight and still thinks I've got a load of her prints and I haven't, who played Barbara and Doctor and the Daleks. David Goodison, the second Davros. Christopher Ryan, very nice chap. A deep friend of the 20 megabyte Doctor. No, I wasn't actually a deep friend of the of FantasyCon. I would come back every year if we would ask him. Anyway, I'm digress. It's Sontaran, General Stahl, and Lord Kiv in Midwall. Peter Roy, he's the one who demanded he come to FantasyCon 2, the one that got done in by COVID. He demanded, and when I said we haven't got enough room for him, he got very nasty. Sent me some very nasty messages. Anyway, he's going to be there. Andrew Burford, stuntman and Aliens, and Cyberbill and the Doctor Falls. Now, going back to Peter Roy, about a year after being very nasty to me, not for the thing to do with FantasyCon 2, unfortunately also Deb, my lovely wife Deb, saw what he wrote, and when he came back and asked again, and we said, quite straight, we haven't got any room for any more guests, he completely forgot, obviously, what he said, that he'd never ever come to our convention again, yet he wrote another letter.
Tried to.
Yes, so he's quite happy to shell out the abuse and then forget he's giving it out. So that's about it for Doctor Who news. Ben's not here to find any extra bits like he normally does. That's about it for Doctor Who news. Seen a few pictures online, a little hint and teasers of behind the scenes stuff at the current series that's being filmed. But that's about it in regards to news. Let's see if anybody else has said anything. Where's my thingy? Nope, it's still Lillian's pussy comment on that one. Right, what else can I find on here? Oh, is that a cat meowing? Jeez.
Sounds like not a real cat.
No.
It wasn't.
Thank you.
Robert, is that your cats?
Do you have cats then?
Yeah. Not in the room.
I usually have a cat.
I've never met a cat that goes meow.
We don't want to hear about your pussy.
This is really going into the gutter. Right.
What about Is that whowon.co.uk?
I didn't actually mention them, to be fair, Kirby, but I did get an email from Lavarzi. Who won? Just checking, see if there's anything else coming through. No. But the Daleks Unlimited Comic Strip Collection 2, Empire Man, Torchwood Story, War Master 8, Escape from Reality. These are stories and products I mentioned last week when Mary wasn't on the show, and she probably would have said, that one's going to be superb, I've got that ready, and I can't really wait to listen to it, etc., etc. So that's in the coming soon.
Is that how Mary sounds?
Exactly how she sounds. Fourth Doctor 12.1, New Frontiers. That's an interesting picture which I can't see because it's got the Ice Warriors in it. Ooh, that's coming soon. It's available for pre-order. whowon.co.uk. Lavarzi sent me an email. Lavarzi. Right then, Lavarzi. Now, what we're going to do with the Lavarzi sponsorship money this year, I may have mentioned this last time, but you've got to remember, my memory's not what it used to be. So if I repeat myself, as part of the show anyway, that I should repeat myself when it comes to organising a convention that is an offspin from this podcast. Vilile Shabalala, our lovely Vilile, who's a friend of the show, friend of the convention, is coming back to FantasyCon this year as the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast's special guest. So delighted that she's going to be coming to the event. Now, were you going to say something, Kirby?
No, I said that's good.
Yes, it is. I was on Vectis Radio, and they sent me my actual interview on Vectis Radio quite recently. I've got to try and find it because I haven't listened to it yet. I just remember it being... I can't remember whether I was funny or not. I felt funny.
What were you on there for?
To do interview about FantasyCon. So Maggie Carey, there she is. Maggie Carey. She's, here it is. What's the date of that one? Right, I'm hoping. Oh dear. I don't know if that's the right one. When did she send me that? Oh, for goodness sake! Right. I'm going to have to go onto the FantasyCon link. This is almost as slick as having Ben on the show. Facebook. Yeah, that's it. I could do this on Safari. I better see it properly then, wouldn't I? And switch over to FantasyCon. Hopefully it'll let me do it without crashing out the recording. And that way I should be able to see. Blast, it won't let me. Right, I'm going to have a... Oh, God, it won't let me do that either. And it won't let me do that. Oh my God, it's gone funny. Help, it's crashed. That changes you, but reload. What am I reloading? Don't want to do that. Oh, are you still there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here.
Where would we go?
I've just lost the video feed because of that.
Oh, you're waiting for a live video signal.
Yeah, the video's just gone because...
Should resume shortly, it's saying.
Yeah, but how?
I don't know.
Oh, jeez. It's just not my day today, is it? However, we're still recording, so I shall go and do what I was trying to do. I apologise to everybody who was watching the show at that point, but this is supposed to be a podcast, not a video demonstration of me sitting in front wearing a nudie. God, painful, isn't it? Facebook can be a very annoying thing when you want to look at, when you have categorised messages from your pages and from your own thing, and you can't look at them all at the same time. You have to switch from one account to another. Right, I'm just waiting for Safari to load so I can do this without cooking things out. Facebook, there it is, Facebook. It wants me to log in. Please remember, don't mess me about.
Oh no, another one you can't remember.
Yeah, another login.
No, I've got it written down, but I haven't got time to faff around. It seems to be loading. No, it doesn't. Blast. Thanks, Maggie, for sending that through on the wrong account. It's all Maggie's fault.
Stop.
Maggie sent me. I can't play it because she sent it through on the FantasyCon account, and I can't load up the FantasyCon account. Why didn't she send it to me via email? Basically, it was my appearance on Vectis Radio talking about FantasyCon. And not only is because she'd done that, messed up my recording. Oh, it's still trying to load. How do I get that to load?
We have to record it all again.
Yeah.
No, I just like the video to video to reload, but it doesn't appear to be doing so for some reason.
No, it's dead at the moment.
Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it? Can't even go into the
technology.
I can't even go into the post and reignite it. Why is it doing that? It's all whose fault is it? It's all Robert's fault. It's all Robert's fault.
I just blame Ben's fault because he's not here to defend.
Yeah, it's Ben's fault.
Blast! I really wanted to play that
It's
too.
Reese's fault.
Yeah, Reese.
I got
excuse book.
Terry Miles says that killed it. Lillian Robbins says frozen video. Terry Miles says dope. I don't know how to get that back. How are you supposed to get that back? I'll try to reload it and see what happens. Nope, that didn't work either. Is it? Are we back? No, I can see myself on here. No, it says waiting. How do we get the live video back? I wish we had some techie people. Pardon?
Buffering still. Buffering.
It's not buffering, it's just not loading.
Ended.
Live video ended. No, well, whatever. I can't do much about that, can I, peeps? That means I might as well switch over to the FantasyCon page. Oh, Jesus Christ. Sometimes you wish that you hadn't indulged in things, you know what I mean, and just carried on as it were. I'll know now never to switch accounts again during the live programme. However, now I've gone to the trouble, here it is. We'll just play it, for goodness sake.
Vectis Radio, FM 104.6, the heart of the island's community.
We've got our next guest in. It's Adam Pearson. Good afternoon, Adam.
Good afternoon.
Can I get you just slightly closer to that microphone?
I'm slightly closer to the microphone.
That's better.
It's not my nose. Is that close enough?
That's close. That'll be absolutely fine. Otherwise, it sounds like you're talking down the end of a long tube.
I want to wipe the microphone afterwards.
No, well, we do disinfect all our microphones afterwards. Now, you're here because you are now sorting out FantasyCon 2023.
Yes, FantasyCon 3. We've made it to the number 3. It's almost like a threshold. Well, we haven't made it yet because obviously it's a few months ago. But essentially we have, yeah.
So FantasyCon went well last year?
It went very well last year, so much so we're doing it this year.
Yeah. And just for those who don't know, what is FantasyCon?
FantasyCon is we call it the Isle of Wight's very own Comic-Con. We insert the words very own to dispatch from that horrible event that happened a few years ago. But it's a fantasy trade and comic convention.
Right.
So, TCCon,
yes,
that's how it's abbreviated to, yes.
So there will be comics on sale there?
Yes, thanks to our friends at Heroes, who have their own event coming up very soon.
And there will be people in costume?
Well, I'll be very disappointed. I don't think people realise you can turn up to Comic-Cons not in costume. Because everybody does.
Yeah, I know, but it's generally accepted that you'll turn up as Darth Vader or a robot or something.
Hopefully so. This is the sort of thing we're looking for, yes.
So what's happening there this year?
Well, it's very early days, obviously, but we've already got a few things in place. We've got Julian Seeger, who was in the Vikings of Valhalla, which is a Netflix series, and he's also well known from Doc Martin. Craig Fairbrass, who couldn't make it last year because he had filming commitments at the time we did the event. He's decided to sort of make up for that and come this year. We've got Vilila Shabalala, who came to the first FantasyCon in 2019. She was in Doctor Who a few years ago, and very recently she was a murderer in Death in Paradise. So they've let her out of prison just to come and do FantasyCon. Kai Owen. These are exclusives. I have to say, these are exclusives. They've not been officially announced yet.
I know the name Kai Owen.
Yes, he was in Torchwood and Hollyoaks.
Of course.
Again, had to cancel because of filming commitments last year. We've also got Martin Ballantyne, who came to the Verst event. He was in Harry Potter and one of the Joker films with Batman. We've also got... That's just some of the celebrities. Obviously, these are early days. There might be a few more coming along yet. So tune in to the FantasyCon pages online in Facebook and stuff like that. We've got board gaming, which is being enhanced because that seems to go down particularly well.
I've got a friend of mine who's very, very into board games.
Yeah, we have chess, Monopoly, Snakes, anything that's a board game that's traditional. We have an area where we put it out in the first convention just to see just to fill up a space really, and it went down so well that we bought it back and it got bigger and bigger. So that's Deb's bought loads of stuff for that now, so it's going to be great fun. Retro gaming from last time, got PS4 game as a new thing, we haven't had that before. Sandark came last time, and I found out they do a Build-A-Bear. So they're doing Sandark and Build-A-Bear.
Oh,
so
right,
that's going to be exciting, because I know building bears is particularly good fun.
It is.
We got, obviously it's the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who, so my podcast, the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast, has a little corner which is going to be slightly bigger, and we're going to have the TARDIS there, we're going to have cardboard cutouts, props and whatnot, in our special Doctor Who zone, which we call the Lord of Time mini convention, so stay tuned on that one. Obviously the usual stage talks, entertainment, cosplay competition, which is the highlight of the event, and we'll have traders, artists and writers as well. Don't know who yet, but we will have them.
Yeah, you will indeed. So where is it and when is it?
It's at Medina Leisure Centre.
Okay.
Up Fairley Road in Newport. It's on the 21st of October, which is a Saturday, during half term as well, so if someone tells me. And it should start about 10 a.m. and finish around about 6 p.m.
Okay, and that's the big hall there, is it?
It's a big hall, yes.
Yes, I know that one they use for election counting and things.
Yeah, and bridal events and basketball and badminton as well. We generally go in there for.
Well, that should be good. Parking's not too bad up there.
Yes, that's much better than this year's event, yes. Lots and lots of parking, and it's a bit more user-friendly.
And it's on the number 9 bus route?
I have not caught a bus up there for many years. I'll go by what you say.
The one that goes to Ryde.
Yes, there should be a few going to Ryde, shouldn't there?
There's some going. Anyway, it's on the main.
It's on a main bus route. It's got a great big bus stop outside, and also if you walk along the seafront, there's apparently a route to it via.
You mean the riverside?
The riverside. Very good. And
yes, you can get up there that way. Yes, you can.
So,
quite a pleasant walk if the weather's not too bad.
Well, fingers crossed it will be, because it absolutely tipped it down this year.
So it's Medina Leisure Centre in October.
Yep.
What's the sort of entry fee? Have you decided that yet?
The entry fees are via the website, which is fantccon.net. Off the top of my head, an adult is £15. Okay. We dropped it down by £2.50. Aren't we generous? Yeah. The rest of the fees are fairly sort of around that sort of price. So you get a family ticket for £24 or something like that. So.
And it was well attended last year. Do you hope it was the same this year or more?
It was well attended, and especially considering how bad the weather was and the fact there was no parking there either. So it was really good, and we've got a lot of fond memories from this year, apart from when I had a few clerical issues in regards to printing out certain things. But I'm hoping to have a more relaxing time this year.
I'm sure it'll be fine. There's loads of those fans. They come from the mainland as well.
Yeah, we hope to get people from the mainland. We have had them. We had one bloke, Rondi, who came from Australia to come to the event, which was quite astounding. I don't think he went away disappointed either.
Well, that's good. That's good to know. Well, thank you. Hope it goes well. Will you drop in a little close to the time, maybe a few minutes?
Yeah, if you get the kettle on next time, that'd be fine. Yeah,
we'll if we had a kettle, we would. You can update us on what's going on there.
Absolutely. Yes.
Just give us the it's on Facebook, isn't it? FantasyCon.
Yeah, if you search FantasyCon on Facebook, you'll better find our page, and there's the website, which is fantccon.net.
FANTCCon.
Yes,
that's it. Thank you very much.
Your support matters.
Yeah, it went on a bit though, didn't it?
Your support matters. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So there
we go. Can we cut out the usual what we watched this week?
Yeah, I haven't watched anything apart from.
I have watched lots.
Well, save it for next. You've watched not lots, did you say, Robert? All I've watched this week really that sticks in the mind, apart from Clarkson's Farm, is the spin-off from Death in Paradise, which is called Beyond Paradise.
I'm always saying I didn't watch anything, and this time I did.
Okay, well, keep it in the box.
Then.
Pardon, Mary?
I said so much for cutting it out. Then, if people are jumping up and down to say what they watched.
What do you think? Well, I'm going to leave because it's your section, Mary. I'm going to leave the whether we do it or not over to you.
She doesn't have to say what she watched, but I want to say what I watched.
No. That's up to Mary. I don't want to upset Mary.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Go on then, Kirby.
I watched this little movie that I've been trying to watch for a while. I finally found a way of doing it that everyone keeps talking about, called Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes, and what did you think of it?
It is fantastic.
It is. Isn't Michelle Darn, what's her surname? Yo. Isn't she, doesn't she light up the screen?
Yes,
she
and also
is
wonderful.
Also, having Short Round back was great.
Who?
Short Round from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
That's right, yeah. But what about how fantastic and wonderful was Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
she was
whole movie
amazing.
Is just so great. I've now watched it 3 times.
I love movies. It's very rare you get a movie like that makes you think and makes you engage with it. It's absolutely wonderful film. Really.
Well, I'm sure, Robert, you can find a way.
I will, yes.
It not engage me.
It didn't capture you, Mary.
No, I found it, like, how can I say? It was like sensory overload, and it just made me tired to watch it.
I can totally get that. I can understand why people would think that as well. So it's fine.
And the other thing I watched was a episode of a TV show called
who?
The Mandalorian, season 3.
Oh, don't talk about that. I haven't watched that yet, you naughty man. Just say you watched it and we'll leave it at that.
That's all I've said.
Good boy.
I'm not going to spoil it yet.
Good boy. Yep, was that it?
I found out that Shirley Henderson does a voice, which I did not realize.
What? Shirley? What?
Shirley Henderson. Moni Myrtle.
Oh, okay. Yes.
She does an alien voice, and she was in Doctor Who once.
Okay. Yes, I know she was in Doctor Who once. She was in the Elton episode. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, every time my youngest daughter leaves in the evening to go to work, we do this little bye-bye Elton.
Oh, goodness.
Anyway,
okay,
that's it.
Thank you. Well, like I say, I've watched, what we watched, I should say, the Beyond Paradise episode 1. A friend of mine is in episode 2, so looking forward to watching that just to capture it. Apparently, he says it's very fleeting, so I'm looking forward to capturing that one. We've also watched Down to Deck Saturday Night Takeaway there's a new series of that. Second episode was, we watched that over dinner yesterday. Always quite good fun. David Tennant was the guest announcer on the first episode. By the way, he's an actor that was in Doctor Who. I probably don't realise that.
Don't know that.
I heard that he's going to be the next Doctor.
He is the 14th Doctor. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I told you he was in Doctor Who. Nothing. I didn't didn't get my wish to get tickets for Basingstoke Comic Con, which, like I say, David Tennant is the.
Is that close to the Basingstoke roundabout?
Roundabout?
Yes.
That's what you're on about. So that's not going to happen.
It's a Hitchhiker's reference.
Yeah.
Marvellous. So that doesn't look like it's going to happen. Although Deb did say that if Millie Bobby Brown became a guest at any convention that was being listed in Great Britain, that we'd find the money somehow. So I was really hoping to go to Basingstoke simply because of there being four Umbrella Academy actors going to it. One of which had been in Doctor, or two of which had been in Doctor, if you count Tom Hopper as well.
How many of them are you related to?
Beg your pardon?
How many of them are you related to?
Well,
second or third?
Probably all of them, cousins. But I wouldn't be able to prove it.
No, we're just if Ben were on, he and I would be teasing you.
Genealogy is fun when you find connections. When you don't find connections, it can be very confusing and irritating. I've got ancestors at the Goldsmith family, and they all.
I turned him on again.
No, don't mention.
You brought it up.
The Goldsmith family, who are Kent's ancestors, my mum's side, and I've been sort of tracing them for years, trying to see where they come from. And then the other day, I discovered that the Princess of Wales' mother is a goldsmith, and that her family come from Kent. I thought, my God, there must be a connection somewhere. Could I find one? No, apart from the Kent. The fact they come from Kent.
I didn't mean to start this.
Just very frustrating.
Thank you, Kirby.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, obviously, if I do find a connection, you'll be hearing all about it here on the 20
No
Megabyte
doubt.
Doctor Who podcast. I bet. Oh yeah, all I've been watching really is there's been some really good crime series coming out on ITVX. There's some there's a series called Social Media Murders or something like that. That's quite an engaging series. And there was a series on Netflix. Was it Meet, Marry, Murder or something like that?
You like your murder stuff.
I
don't
just
you?
I don't like watching murder dramas, apart from Death in Paradise. I don't like watching murder dramas. What I do like watching is how real detectives solve real murders, and then finding out how the horrible murderers, how their sentencing is. And the only disappointing thing I find while watching the British versions of these series, when I watch the American ones, they find the murderers either get death or they get life without parole plus 20 or 30 years, or basically it's overkill and perfectly correct sentencing for murderers. Britain, right, there's a bloke who groomed a young girl in Canada for about 4 years, and then eventually she went over to live with him in Britain, and he stabbed her to death within about 9 months of her coming to Britain. And in America, if that had happened, life in prison without parole, possibly death, depending on what you're stating. How long do you think he got? 21, life in prison with 21 years before he might be considered for parole.
Oh, yeah.
It makes absolutely no sense. You've got people who have actually done some brutal murders 15 years before they're considered for parole, and they will get
taken away the total life of someone else.
Yeah, they will get parole. They will. Most of these murderers will be released from prison and probably go on and do it again. I'm just totally against people who've like stalkers have gone around and made someone's life hell, young person's life hell, and then just decide, right, if you can't have them, nobody can, kill them, and then they go to prison 15 years and come back out again, possibly do it again. So that, I love
in reality, in American cities now, it's that way. It's that people are getting off without even having to pay any bail.
Yeah.
Or even people who've mowed several people down with their car and killed several.
They can use the mental health card.
They're out of jail and they're walking around, and this is what's happening in America now.
They can use the mental health card, or they can use the self-defense card, and they can use try and use that in Britain.
They don't have to use anything.
Self-defense doesn't work if you've gone and sort of overkilled. If you're defending yourself, you just maybe lash out with an object and hit them, just knock them out or something like that. If it kills them, that's self-defense. But if you go and whack and whack and whack and whack, and that's overkill, isn't it? So that for me is murder. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is. I totally agree. But they've been changing the laws over here to allow people to walk free after they've done murders or some pretty horrendous stuff.
Yeah, and they show the stuff all around the world. It's not just US and Britain. And what gets me is when they've sort of had the chance to get these people put away and they don't, or they do for about 10 years and they come out and do the same thing again. Say the first time they got put in prison for the 10 years, they've just been assaulting and knocking people out or mistreating them. But then they go to prison, they come out, and because they don't want to go back to prison, they murder them. So they don't consider the consequences of letting people with that mindset back out into society, and it's the same all around the world. But the crime programs I find fascinating because I think these detectives in both and all police forces get real bad press sometimes, but the detectives do such an amazing job. I'm totally in awe of what they do. They have to deliver bad news to the families, and they have to find they're really geared to finding these killers, and they'll work round the clock 24 hours a day because they're that dedicated to their jobs to find killers for the families and get those people put in prison and stuff like that. I just find them fascinating. I think they're amazing and much more interesting than the dramas, even though some of the times the dramas are quite good. So yes, we've got a cinema trip coming up soon called the Cineworld Unlimited Secret. Was it a secret performance? I don't know. So basically, we don't know what we're going to see. It's a secret screening of something. So that's next Saturday. It'll be quite interesting to see what we're. What did you say?
I said surprise. it
Yes,
is?
we don't know what it is, but we're hoping it's something we want to watch. Last time that happened was a film called Belfast. Right, who hasn't said what they watched this week? Was it you, Kirby, or was it you, Robert?
I haven't.
Go on then, Robert.
I said what I said.
I watched the whole series of Tulsa King, which was Sylvester Stallone, and that was quite good. Very funny, actually, even though it's a crime sort of thing. The mob. Survivor. I like watching Survivor. Mainly the Australian version, even though the US one started to back up. The Rookie, which I always find good, very funny and well written. I did watch Mando as well. Quantum Leap, I've been watching that.
Is that the original series?
No, this is the...
yeah. Can't get hold of the new series in Britain yet. Not available anywhere.
Yeah. But, The Last of Us, now I would rave about The Last of Us. It is so well written. Really.
Watch that.
Sorry?
I need to watch that.
Yeah, it is so good, honestly. The writing of the third episode, every time I think of it, it gets me emotional. It's just so well done. I watched The Fabelmans.
I saw that a few weeks ago. It's a good film, isn't it?
Yeah, really enjoyed that. Especially I like the recreations of the home movies. I thought that was well done. And you'd get something out of Adam.
Something that Steven Spielberg would have been quite good at doing, really. Doing those home movies.
Releasing them, you mean?
No, creating them for that film.
Oh yeah, he would have enjoyed it. I mean, I would love to see the original ones. Do you know J.J. Abrams?
Yeah, he did some Star Trek movies and he did some Star Wars movies as well, J.J.
No, but I was going to say, back in the late 70s, he actually helped Spielberg arrange his home movies and sort them out and make sure that they were cataloguing them and stuff. So he would have seen them.
I hope he does a part 2. I know it's based on his life, but not actually his life. That makes sense. But I'd love that.
Well,
if they
it
picked
stopped
up.
when he got into television, didn't it? So.
Sort of. No spoilers though, eh?
Well, I really enjoyed that. And 911 Lone Star. I find that quite good as well. Really enjoyed that.
What's his name? Robert, isn't it? I have to now get back into watching Picard because I've heard about Series 3 being really good.
Yes. Sorry,
and I have to force myself to get back into that.
It is excellent. This season is really.
Yeah, the last it's really good. I need to re-up my Paramount Plus then.
Yes. Well, it's available in Britain on Prime. Series 2 of Picard, which where I was watching, but all of it is on Paramount Plus. Yeah. Anything else?
So last episode was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, all right, that'll do. Thank you, Robert.
Yeah.
Yes. Is that it?
That's it. Yep.
Well, Mary, I would play a little theme tune for you, but I feel that
Mary, if you don't want to, you don't have to.
But I'd like it if you did.
I can say pretty quickly what I've been watching because mostly it's been basketball, and now that it's spring training time in baseball, I've been watching spring training games in the afternoons when the team has enough money to let their game be broadcast. So it's hit and miss, but yes, I've been watching spring training games. It's fun watching the new players come up that are hopefuls to be part of the teams. In terms of Big Finish, I had just finished listening to the Ninth Doctor box set called Into the Stars. It's 3 stories, and the first one is worth the whole box set because it's the Doctor visiting a planet or at least a large community that is all Sontarans, all of them being played by Dan Starkey, and each one unique.
That would have been a bit crazy.
It's a wonderful story because the Doctor interferes with another group that wants to destroy the planet or destroy the civilization of Sontarans because, of course, they're evil. But these people, or these Sontarans, for some reason, are good, and you don't know why they're good or why they changed, or if this is just a front that they're putting on, and once they rope the doctor in believing that they're good. Are they going to suddenly turn evil? You don't know. It's a great story, and Dan Starkey should get an award for the wonderful job he does playing all the different people in this society. The other two stories are okay. They're good, but they're not nearly the wonderfulness of the first one. Another Big Finish that I listened to is an old story, one of their old monthlies called Thicker Than Water. And it brings together two of my most favorite people, which is the Sixth Doctor and his Big Finish companion, Evelyn
Smythe. Yeah.
Evelyn Smythe, yeah.
Good.
Love it. It's a wonderful story.
Yeah.
And I'd say heart-rending, because this is very close to when Maggie, who plays Evelyn, was close to, she was becoming too sick to do the role anymore. And so they kind of play on that in this. It's really a nice story. Started reading a Target book called The Space Pirates.
Wow.
I'm into it yet, but by next week I should be able to say what I'm saying. That's it.
Yeah, I read that a couple of years ago.
Right. I'm just looking at my calendar now.
Oh, I just finished a John Varley book that I've read about 5 or 6 times called Steel Beach, and I'm starting in on another John Varley book from, I think, 2008, might have been 2018, called Irontown Blues.
Thank you. I've been listening to Frances Benali's autobiography. That's really, really good. Relevant to what you lot are talking about, but that's really good. Obviously, I've met Francis. He did the forward for my quiz book, the Samson quiz book, so it's quite nice to listen to his life and achievements. And what was the other thing? What's something else?
I don't know.
You haven't told us.
I haven't told you what?
Yet.
You haven't told us what the something else was.
Yeah, I know.
Because you can't remember it.
Something else.
Old age is an adventure.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Obviously, I've been watching sports and stuff, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, blast. Oh, well. Never mind.
Welcome to the club.
Today, I think it's just I've had quite a draining day. Right, next week I can't do the show because I'll be working M&S quite late. So by the time I finish work, it'll be come home. I'll be coming home and having dinner, and it'll just roll well past our normal recording time, and so that I can't do it next week.
Let me double check the calendar. So yeah, you must have told us that before because I don't have anything down.
Just saying, just confirming. The week after that is Mother's Day in the United Kingdom. That won't really have much effect on the show unless you lot have Mother's Day at the same time.
No, our Mother's Day happens in May, in the month of May.
That's good then.
And now, then, of course, I will let everyone know when we will be recording, what the times are, because you will already have changed time and we will have not.
That's right. Well, our clocks change on the 26th.
Right.
26th.
Yeah, they go. I think they go forward.
The 19th, we will have changed and you will have not.
True. I don't know how that's going to work, but I'm sure you'll get it wrong. You'll tell me.
It's always a good idea to just put what's the time in, Isle of Wight now.
That's what we normally do, but it didn't work that time when we was at that convention.
Please, I don't want to think about that.
I'm not sure what's happening on Easter Sunday. I don't know. I think it's quite likely we're all going to be doing family stuff that evening. And then the 16th should be okay. I'm doing Heroes Con that day.
When is Easter? I don't have it written down.
It's the 9th of April.
Okay. Now, I will likely not be on the 2nd of April because there's a silent movie.
Well, there you go. That's,
well, you could still watch it and do the podcast.
Yeah, with this last silent movie, my wife said, "Oh, I've invited someone to come and watch with us, but I'm not telling you who." And a few minutes after the movie started, our family doctor walks in and sits down with us. Yes. Oh my. Which was funny.
Yeah, so the 16th is Heroes Con, but I shall that won't affect our recording. 23rd is fine. 30th is fine. The 7th is Mary's birthday, so I presume you're not going to be on, Mary. Eh? Where it's your 21st.
We'd love to be on.
We're getting too far ahead there. So.
Oh, it's also the day after the coronation. Again, that won't have effect on it because the coronation's
when's
on the
coronation?
6th of May. But it won't have effect on it because the podcast will be the day after. It's part of the coronation weekend, but the actual coronation itself is on the 6th, and the rest of it. Apart from, I've got Basingstoke Comic Con on my diary, but I'm not going to be allowed to go. There's quite plain sailing all the way through, apart from the Isle Festival in June, all the way through, and apart from the chance I'm probably not going to go, but the theatre train shows on the 9th of July, all the way through, for a long, long time unless I get a wedding or something
until
like that.
we run out of shows.
Well, it's all open until the theatre train show in December, so it's going to be a lot. Unless things get shoved into the calendar, a lot of weekends where
this season's gone on a while.
Get to the end of the Jodie Whittaker era, and I can stop podcasting.
Sorry, Kirby, I got that wrong.
To the end of what era?
The Jodie Whittaker, all right, the Jodie Whittaker era, stroke the beginning of the Ncuti Gatwa era. Yeah.
No, you missed the David Tennant era. Yeah. Second David Tennant.
Yeah, but he hasn't done any yet. But all right, the David Tennant and Ncuti Gatwa era.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yes, Kirby, if you say so. Anyway, it's nice to have you back, Robert. I hope this is something to continue. If somebody can please, somebody on the show, help Debbie sort out her technical issues. Oh, sorry, the dog's having another seizure. Sorry.
Oh.
Yes, we can't do much about it. I did explain that last week. She didn't have any seizures last week when I said about it. Now she's having them this week. So what did you say, Kirby?
What's the cause of these?
Tell Debbie to try to connect using the testing system first.
Okay. Yeah. I won't get to see her, but I'm just saying, if you can speak to her, darlings, on the crew feed. So I think she needs a bit of help with that. And as far as your question, Mary, is that she's very old and thin, and she's just gradually coming to the end of her days, and she has.
Speak about Debbie like that.
It's part of her dying process that she will have these seizures. I'm afraid they don't last long, but she just cries out, and then she'll wake up and what's going on? She doesn't even know she's doing it. So it doesn't worry me because she doesn't seem to be at all traumatized. But it's just she'll pass out, have a seizure, wake up, and not know where she is for a few moments, then goes back to sleep again. But she's been all right for the last few weeks. But anyway.
I never had an animal that had seizures, so I didn't know why those were happening.
Oh, she's got a great big growth on the side of her head, which is untreatable. So he just bandaged it up, but I think that might be part and parcel of it. But she's also...
My cat did that when she got so old, though, as well.
She's also... She eats quite well, and she's still got a bit of a sense of humour and gets around and runs up steps to go to the toilet. She doesn't do anything like that indoors, touch wood. But she... doesn't matter how much she eats, and she takes hours eating. She hasn't got any teeth, but she's like a skeleton with fur on. She's so skinny.
Oh my gosh!
And that's just part and parcel of her being exceptionally.
Yeah, that would be cancer. Yeah.
Cancer.
Yeah, that would be the cancer.
Yeah. But yeah, on the whole, she's okay. She's not moaning about anything. She's just old and slow. But yeah, she's had this growth for a while, but she's just sort of.
Are we still recording?
Down. Yeah.
Yes, we are. Just as part, we do infiltrate real life events into this show, just to sort of cheer people up, really. Anyway,
this isn't very cheerful. I'm sorry.
Well, people have pets, don't they? People have loved ones, and people have to deal with cancers, whether it's in the family or whether it's. With your pets or whatever. Anyway, so next time, it won't be next week, like I say, because I'm going to be working. But the week after, we should be back up and running. And if I'm allowed to, by She Who Must Be Obeyed, where we will be finishing off. We'll be finishing off this series of
Wedding River Song.
Is it a two-parter?
Okay. No.
Huh?
So it's the last episode of this series of Doctor Who. We'll finish off with the Wedding of River Song. Don't remember who she marries, but we'll find out when we watch the episode, won't we? So until then, thank you for persevering with the show. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Fancy Pants.
Bye.
Yeah, bro.
Megabyte Doctor Who podcast is an APV Services production sponsored by who1.co.uk and lavazi.co.uk. We are a proud member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance. Doctor Who is a trademark of the BBC. No copyright infringement intended.